All right. So, hi, I'm Andrea,
Hi, I'm Tanya.
and
Oh, my
welcome.
camera keeps going.
Did your table show? And welcome to our first ever attempt at a vodcast. And we've decided to call ourselves the
Monologues.
Momologues in South Africa.
Monologues.
Yeah, Momologues. Momologues in South Africa. So we are a relatively new podcast and we want to just be real and we want to show the world what we find funny and also to build a community of moms where we don't feel overpressured to perform and to live up to unrealistic standards. So if you are interested in sponsoring our podcast, please reach out to us on the details below and we will happily discuss
Hello.
those options below. All right.
Hello.
So what was, but maybe we should just like introduce ourselves first, like who we are and how we got here.
Okay. So I'm Tanya
Yeah.
and you are Andrea, and we sort of know each other for the last how many years? 5 years?
No, it's been longer, since 2016. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So 9 years this year.
9 years.
Mm,
Goodness.
mm,
Yeah, we've had a lot of telephone conversations and a lot of teas and coffees and yeah.
yeah.
What else
So
do we need to tell our viewers? I mean, how
I
much
don't,
more do they need to know?
do they want to know what you do for a day job?
Maybe let's keep that for
Another
another session.
episode,
We
no
can
problem.
yeah, we can keep them on the edge.
And tell us about all your children. No names, just tell
Okay,
us about all
so
your
we've got
children.
Monza, who's a four-legged child,
Yeah.
and we've got Nora Jane, who is very new in our family, and she is my first, and she's only 3 months old.
Yeah, I was just about to say, so time flies, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
yourself, Andrea.
I have a farmyard at home consisting of two birds, a cat, and two dogs. And I do have a very sassy 7-year-old, which we will refer to as a whole bunch of different names as they come up during the podcast. So yeah, today we'll go with Peanut. So
Peanut, love it.
So Peanut went back to school today after school holidays, so I'm thrilled. So life can actually get back to its routine and its normalcy now. So what was your highlight of the day or highlight of the week so far?
So I want to share a bit of a story, and I'm sure a lot of moms can relate to this. And
Yeah.
I've never really experienced it until you've experienced it. So this morning, normally I'm quite I'm
Active.
like very prepared, like
Yeah.
very prepared person. Like everything is in order. Like my bag's packed the night before. Like if I leave the house, everything's like ready. I'm not. I know exactly where
Yeah,
everything's
Fati
going to
Kaki.
happen. Yes. So this morning, so last night I was like, no, I'll have lots of time because I'm going to visit my aunt and she's going to babysit Nora Jane. And I thought, okay, well, I'll have time to pack the bags. There'll be time this morning because the morning before I sort of woke up like at 4 a.m. And got everything sorted. And I was
Yeah.
like an hour and a half ahead of my day. And I was like,
Mm.
well, what do I do with all this time? I've got this time. So this morning I thought the same thing will happen. And unfortunately, it didn't quite happen that way. So instead of waking up at the normal time, because now remember, when the baby's sleeping, you try and do everything you can do
Yeah.
because when she wakes up, she wants your attention. She wants um, just to be entertained, or she needs to be fed, or there's a nappy, or something needs to happen.
Yep.
But you don't have both of your hands anymore, and you can't move as fast as you normally could move without the baby.
Yep.
So this morning, it didn't work out the way I wanted to. There needed to be a feed before I got out of bed, and then she didn't fall asleep straight away. So I had to wait a little bit with her in bed. So by the time I got out of bed, it was already 6 a.m. So now I've lost 2 hours. There still needs to be a shower. There still needs to be an expression. There still needs to be another feed. There still needs to be another nappy. There still needs to be breakfast. And then I still need to pack the bags and sort everyone else out in the house on top of
Mm.
that. So I was just like,
How did you
how do you
manage?
squeeze all of that? Well, fortunately, I got breakfast when I got to my next destination. So the
Okay, cool.
people here fed me, which helped quite a bit, I have to say. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And obviously, if you're breastfeeding, you need to eat quite a bit to make sure there's enough.
Yes.
The other stuff, I just had to like let it go. Like there's some things that's priority. So the nappy bag was priority, and the expression pump is priority, and everything else was just sort of left behind. We'll just have to do
Mm.
with it what
Yeah.
we can do at the office today.
Yeah.
That was the highlight of my day. So yeah, we'll get to the next question that you're going to ask me, and I'm going to tell you what else, the low thing and the high thing and the happy stuff that needs to happen at
Yeah.
the end.
So didn't you have a excuse me, don't you have a standard nappy bag that um like when you get home from a place you just top it up and then it's ready for the next time you need to go out?
So I wasn't at my normal house. I
Oh,
was watching
right.
someone else's.
Yeah.
So the nappy bag was sort of
So
not
you're
as
already
standard
out of
as it
routine
normally
for
is.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Ah, got it.
That's the highlight of my day.
Nice. So I think the highlight of my week this week has actually been watching Peanut um craft and live her best life. And I think sometimes we forget to do that and we forget to just be present in the moment. So she has been crafting while she's been on school holidays from she fully engages herself in crafting and stuff when she's in there. So she's made herself paper shoes. That doesn't mean that we can get her to wear any of the 64 pairs of shoes that she's got in her cupboard. Um, and she was beading, and she's actually so precious. She makes gifts for other people, and sometimes I just think to myself, "Dit lyk regtig so skak." But she's put her whole heart and soul into it, and she's so like, always thinking of other people. And I just think it's so precious because I think we all forget to just be present in the moment sometimes and just do what we need to do. Um, we get so wrapped up in routines and
I
just getting to
agree.
places and stuff that we just forget to just be moms sometimes. You've got to be so
Like I
much for
was this
everybody
morning, just getting
else.
to the next task.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, what about your low light for the week?
So my low light for the week is I'm struggling with balance. Like
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like just juggling everything, being mom, sorting out everything that is to be sorted for my daughter because obviously she is number one priority at the moment.
Yeah.
And then obviously running the company and making sure I'm still nurturing my friendships and nurturing my networks and just getting that balance done. And then obviously, you need to look after your partner and your spouse and your husband, cooking,
Luckily,
I
you
mean,
only have one
cleaning,
of
like all
those.
those things. Luckily, hey, thank goodness.
But sometimes I can
So,
seriously see the appeal in Sister Wives. I can,
yeah.
I can
So the
understand the
low is a
appeal
little
there
bit of
sometimes.
a low of yeah, a low is a little bit of balance.
Mm,
And yeah, just getting that balance back. And I mean, we get the balance back by looking at just prioritizing what's important, I
yeah.
think. And
Mm,
as what I did this morning is just letting some of the stuff go. If everything's not packed, if everything's not ticked off the list, just focus on what is important, focus on self. I think I haven't done enough self-care.
that's
I think that's
possible.
maybe something we need to chat about next week is a bit of
Yeah,
self-care.
some
Uh,
self-care.
I can bring
Mm,
that in.
I
Mm.
agree. I agree. So my low light of the week has been whenever a routine change is coming in our house, emotions flare. So my peanut does suffer. No, she's not suffering, but my house has two or three members that have ADHD, so emotions are very quick to flare up in our house, and it's sometimes just difficult to manage. This morning, Peanut tried to tell me that she doesn't know how to put on pants anymore. So, but that's just her wanting to connect. That's just her wanting to connect.
So
Uh,
what do
you
you
know,
do when she does that?
so so we take the approach of name and tame. So we will name what's going on, try and give it a name because she's so young, she sometimes doesn't know what the name is of what she's feeling. So she doesn't know she's feeling anxious necessarily. And it's not something I really want her to understand while she's so young. So we try and name it. So we say, "Oh, are you just a bit nervous to go to school? Are you feeling nervous?" Or, emotions and things that she does understand. And then we get to the point or to where we need to be. And then I say, I don't give in to her. Um, I generally push her through so she can get through it on her own. So she like I said, tried to tell me that she didn't know how to put on pants this morning. And so I asked her, she's a little bit nervous going back to school. Is she not excited to see her friends? And she said, yes, she was. She just, sometimes putting pants on is difficult. I said, I know, my baby, but at least I know you always try your best. So why don't you try put your pants on and then we can go. Get breakfast or whatever the next thing is that we needed to do. And yeah, and then she can remember to put pants on. I mean, so but yeah, it's just yeah, emotions is a big thing in our house. um and my partner, my husband, doesn't do well with emotions. He is emotion adverse. So um yeah, it becomes a little bit of a juggling act, especially if I'm feeling overwhelmed and overstimulated. Then with Peanut's emotions as well, it can cause conflict, but we just try and name and tame. That's our strategy in our house is name and tame.
I don't think you're alone there with a partner that's not always emotionally intact with everyone else.
I tell you what, it's like when you put water on a hot stove and it makes those bubbles and it runs away. Like that's what
Yes,
happens. Like the first sign of emotion, it's just like and he's gone. Like it's just not happening.
brilliant.
Oh yeah. All right. The next section that we've got is healthy habits for moms. Do you have a healthy habit for moms this week?
So I do have a healthy habit, and it's something that I'm going to try and not do. So this morning, what also happened, which I neglected to tell, is sometimes you just press the snooze button because you're a little bit tired, and you're
Yeah.
like, let me just, I'm just going to do this last feed and
Yeah.
just like snooze while I'm doing it. And unfortunately, that snooze turned into an hour, so that's where I lost the second hour of my
All
day.
right.
And as we know, or some of you might not know, snoozing is actually not something that is great for our health. It can disrupt your sleep cycle and it could lead to increased fatigue and grogginess for the day. So, something that I would encourage as a healthy habit is to try and keep to your routine of when the alarm goes off in the morning, wake up, get out of bed, put the light on. Even if you're tired, as soon as you put the light on, your body automatically starts waking up so that you can make sure that your circadian rhythm works for the day and so that you can also limit that fatigue that you have in the
Yeah.
day because of the sleeping that took place.
I think that's an awesome healthy habit for moms. Um, I think for anybody really, but I mean, for me, I like to wake up slowly. So I wake up with four alarms, and I've also overslept with four alarms. So yeah, but I wake up with four alarms, and I just feel like that's a softer way for me to wake up in the mornings than just one alarm. I'm not a one alarm kind of person. I'm just not.
Everyone's different. Everyone's different. I have to be a one alarm person. Like if I'm
Yeah.
snoozing, is like gone.
Yeah, if you wanted two different people, if you wanted to see an example of what two different people look like when they collaborate, like welcome to Mama Calls, because this is exactly what it's like. Tanya and I are so opposite, but yet we collaborate so well. Something funny that you can think about for the week upcoming as a closing thought. Um, did you know that hobby horsing is an actual recognized sport? It's becoming an actual recognized sport. So it's those
Hobby
sticks.
horsing.
Hobby horsing, yes. So it's those sticks that the kids play on in the garden. Apparently, that's where it started. Apparently, it was just a kid's story, but it's actually become a sport now where they actually have show jumping, um, and uh, like competitions and medals and prize giving and like how well the mane has been plaited. So there are genuinely people out there that believe hobby horsing is a legitimate career prospect for them. There is actually a hobby horse federation in South Africa, in case you didn't want to know. I'll pop some more details below. And there are also some videos. So if you would like to possibly consider venturing out into hobby horse career, go check it out and tell us what you think about it. Because for me, it is it's more on the entertainment spectrum than on the sporting spectrum.
Very new. Never heard of
Very
it.
new.
Never knew it existed. Thanks for
But
that, Andrea.
I'll post some pictures as well that you can see hobby horsing in action.
Love it. Love it.
All right, so that was our first ever podcast. We would love to hear from you. Please give us a like, a comment, and a share. We really do appreciate it. It does help our algorithm. And yeah, this is us for today. This is us for this week, and we will be back next week with another episode.
Fantastic. Remember to subscribe below. Below.
Below. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.